Alex Revell rounding off pre-season with a win. How do you sum up the game?
I thought that the ultimately, like you said, it's a win. I thought that probably the first 20 minutes took us a little bit of time to figure out kind of how to press them and how to work. But again, I'll reiterate what we've said. It's a different challenge against a team that's wants to have a lot of possession, and I think at times that you've got to learn how. Sometimes you have to suffer sometimes without the ball and learn how to move and work and keep the ball out your net. But after that, I thought that when we probably changed a few things around, we became much better. We became much higher as a team, and ultimately scored a really good goal from a set play, and which proves that they can be the difference in games, and it can make a huge difference to winning and losing. And then after half time, I thought that we stepped on personally. I thought that we were much better second half in terms of winning the ball back and then what we did with it. And I think the only problems came when we at times just were a little bit sloppy when we won it back, and that's been a big feature of what we're trying to do. So, all in all, a win and a really good workout for us, which has finished that pre-season off really nicely.
Teams like these Premier League academy teams are a lot different to Braintrees of last night, and a lot different to some of the teams you'll play in the league this season. So was it a case of learning more about your players and how they can adapt to situations?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why this game was here, because we knew that probably we wouldn't see as much of the ball as what we maybe saw last night or in certain games, and same as probably Coventry as well. They moved the ball. The difference was today that I think that we had probably more chances today to score more goals. But it just took us time to figure out. And sometimes in games, you can do all the work you need to do in terms of and on the training ground. But sometimes you don't always get exactly the same pictures that will happen in a game on a training ground. So you have to figure it out. And the biggest compliment I'll make to our players is that when we did change it, it happened instantly almost. And that just proves what they can take on board. It proves that they see it, and it proves that they can then act on what we're telling them. So, yeah, it was an ideal game for us in terms of what we wanted from the game, and everyone's come through excellently. So, and now we can have a day off tomorrow with our families, and then make sure that we come in Monday ready for a big week ahead of what we all know and are getting excited about next Saturday.
And throughout the course of the season, you will have to change systems, you'll have to change personnel. And that's what pre-season is about, being able to be ready for any challenge in front of you.
Yeah, it's been adaptable, right? I think that we've seen it in different games. We've played different shapes. We've had different personnel. And I think that's the biggest compliment from last year. And we saw it from other teams. We saw Derby, many different shapes last year, got promoted. Stockport from League Two, 8 or 9 different shapes throughout a season. So at times it keeps people guessing. But also you have to change in game. So, yeah, really pleasing on that part. I think that, like I said, at half time we gave them information and in terms of how we wanted to press and be a slightly different to what we were last night and against Coventry and against Oxford City in different games. So, but they did it, and ultimately we have the same principles here. So it doesn't matter what shape you play, it's the same principles, and we've just got to keep working on those.
A couple of key points from today's game. First of all, we signed Murphy Cooper about an hour before kick-off. What can you tell us about him, and what did you think of his performance today?
Yeah, I thought, I think we saw why we've signed him today. Nice and calm. His distribution is excellent, which is a big part for us. We have to be able to use that ball well, and in terms of how we play and our identity. He's a really powerful goalkeeper. He can get to things that you wouldn't expect keepers to get to. He's really commanding, and I know, and I said it last night after the interview, that the biggest thing about his character, and his characters has been second to none, and the references and the feedback that we got from other people in the game where he's been at typifies that. So it's a great character to bring in, and him and Tay will challenge for that position, and which is what we've always said. To be a successful team, you have to have different challenges and competitions in every position, and now we've got that as a number one.
A couple more things. Lewis Freestone took his goal well, and of course there was a start and a performance from Ryan Doherty in midfield today.
Yep, I think it's the first goal he scored in about 3 years, so it was a big frustration of him last year that he should have scored more. And good to see him. Great delivery. What happens when you get good delivery, good movement, and a desire to score a goal? That's what you need. Listen, with Doherty, we know he's a 15-year-old kid still, and he's playing against players of that are way past his years in terms of the athleticism. But I thought at spells, at times he played way above his years, which is great for us to see. He's still developing. We can't forget that. But he's been with us all of pre-season now, and I think that we're seeing some real flashes for him. But I've got to be honest, there was 2 other boys that came on as well, young lads, and really exciting to watch. I think that Lenny Brown we saw last night was fantastic. We didn't really want to use him today as much because he played so much last night. Came on and just showed his aggressive nature in terms of, I don't mean nasty, I mean how he drives forward with the ball, and great effort that deserved more. And then young Alfie's come in. The academy have signed him this summer, and to be honest with you, he looked like a really top talent today. Did everything well. We just asked him to do the simple things well. And that's why he tried a double drag back and a flick. But then he finished it with a nice simple pass. So really good to see. We keep reiterating it, that they've shown why they should be here. And then it's down to them to keep showing why they need to be with us. And if they keep delivering performances like that and training well and attitude off the pitch and doing jobs right, and we get things right there, then they'll continue to be with us and grow. So we're really excited with that group, and it's credit to what obviously the academy have produced. And it's about getting opportunity, and we feel like we have given them the opportunity, and they're taking it.
Pre-season done, 1 week to go before the real stuff starts. How are you feeling?
Yeah, listen, I feel we're in a really good place. Ultimately, it all starts next week, and that'll be the kind of the judgment in terms of pre-season. But winning doesn't just happen because of one-off things. It happens because you've put in the hard yards. It happens because you've worked extremely hard as a group over the last few weeks. Hopefully, we've got our principles out that we want to be, and they don't change from what we are as a football club. And hopefully, we saw that throughout pre-season really. And we finished with a really good record in pre-season. You always want to win games and come out, because it does breed confidence. We've had really good games in terms of the challenges, and now it's about delivering, and we have to deliver now. And we'll be doing everything to make sure that this week we build, to make sure that as of next that we really deliver these points that we all crave and have real success.
And kicking off at home in front of this crowd, hopefully all 4 stands will be full, as opposed to what we've seen in pre-season. That would be really exciting to really get knuckled down and start going. Yeah,
listen, when you turn up here and every stand's open and the fans are back in, it's a special place, and we're all looking forward to the new boys. They haven't experienced that. The ones that were here, it's been a big drive last year, that we had some really top games at home with really big crowds that really pushed us on. And we know we have to deliver that performance to help them push us on. But they'll be huge for us this year, and we can't wait to get going with them and win games together.